You're watching Fox 9 Morning News.
First of all, let's check in with M.A. Rosko this morning. M.A.
Whether you're a tinkerer, a coder, a woodcrafter, a welder, or an animatronic head maker, this weekend's Mini Maker Faire is for you. I'm M.A. Rosko at Leonardo's basement. We're going to give you a sneak preview coming up. Yeah, we see you. We see everything.
Maybe you've heard of maker fairs before. Well, there are huge ones in New York City and the Bay Area. The idea is catching on here as well at the second annual Mini Maker Faire, which returns to the State Fairgrounds this Saturday.
M.A. Rosko is telling us that the idea is to actually build, play, and learn with our huge DIY community. She has a preview from Leonardo's basement.
All the better to see you with, my dear. These are the moving eyeballs that belong to Sasha, the animatronic head. Luke is operating the eyeballs. Very good. Linnea, come on out from behind Sasha. This is one of the makers who worked on the project here. This will be Leonardo's basement's project at the Mini Maker Faire. Tell me how you came up with the idea.
Well, when we were brainstorming for ideas, we came up with a lot of moving things, and one person suggested something along the lines of a Trojan horse, and then someone was like, we should do a Trojan head.
Just like in The Wizard of Oz, we're going to peel back the curtain and go behind the scenes, and who do we find in here but
Hayden?
And tell me how you operate.
Okay, so the whole way this thing moves is actually on a scooter. And so I have a joystick here, and I move this joystick to move backwards and turn around and forwards.
Now, at Leonardo's basement, you're famous for repurposing things. So what kind of materials did you use?
Chicken wire, metal pipes, zip ties, cloth, anything
from your house that your mom might be looking for later that ended up in Sasha?
Not for me, but I probably could say that. You probably could say that at Hayden.
Note to Hayden's mom. Now, before we tell you what this contraption is, and it will be at the Mini Maker Faire, I want to introduce you to Chris Groth, who helped the kids with their projects. You're going to have a build and play area at the Mini Maker Faire. What do you want kids to get out of that?
It's sort of like bringing a little bit of Leonardo's basement to the Maker Faire. Give people a chance to get their hands on materials and build something. We unleash the kids on materials and our skills and the facilities here to build what comes from their head, what their design is, what they would like to make into fruition.
Well, it turns out that Hayden has set himself up in the human claw game. So why don't you go ahead and explain what's going to happen here as your friends help you out?
Yeah. Okay, so the main idea of this is that you could have two people controlling the claw where it moves around, and then another person who would move it up and down. So it's just like on a real claw game that you might find at an arcade. You have a claw that you're moving around, but instead of that, it's a human, and you're trying to pick up the prize.
And so the prize is the very attractive doll over in the corner. That is your prize, and so it's going to take teamwork to get you over there, correct?
Yes.
Well, it's the first time in history that anyone has ever won the claw game. You remember, it always slips through the claws, but not through your clutches. Thanks so very much. I will help you with your prize. When we come back, we're going to meet some of the other makers. Stick around. Well done.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. He got his prize, though.
He did get his prize. Leonardo's basement, that is a crazy place. Just, you can find anything in there.
I love it. I like his shirt that said, the instructor shirt that said, helping kids fail since 1998. That's what it's all about.
It's all about trying, though.
To succeed, you have to fail.
Yeah, I guess keep getting back up again.
Right.
But first, we'll check in with M.A. Rosko on this Wednesday. Good morning, M.A.
If you want to try your hand at pulling ink across a silk screen, there's no better time to try it than this weekend. That's when the second annual Mini Maker Faire is in St. Paul. I'm M.A. Rosko. I'll have a preview coming up.
All right, well, if you are interested in crafting, woodworking, coding, tinkering, maybe blacksmithing, well, just about anything that involves building with your hands, it's time to get your geek on.
It is. It's the second annual Mini Maker Faire. And it's at the State Fairgrounds this Saturday, featuring hundreds of ways to kind of do it yourself. M.A. Rosko takes us to Leonardo's basement for a little small sample this morning.
Giant moving animatronic head built by kids at Leonardo's basement? Check. A human-sized version of the Claw arcade game? Check. Screen printing with bitter buffalo? Check. I am joined by Gillian McLaughlin. She's one of about 200 different presenters who will be at the Mini Maker Faire on Saturday. And tell me a little bit about what you'll be doing and what you want kids to get out of it.
Yeah, so I'm bringing out a handful of different little press options and screens for kids and anyone really to just bring my studio out and have them get their hands on printing anything and playing with a little bit of patterns and layering and making completely unique pieces that they can take home with them.
So what do you find happens when kids get their hands on some really bright ink and get their hands on the squeegee?
Yeah, no, they dive right in. Most adults don't want to try it with me. They'll say, I'll let the professional do it. But I love the response I get from kids. I have a almost 6-year-old and he is obsessed and he likes to teach other kids how to do it. So they like to get right in there and see what they can make. They are the most creative, force that we can have, so it's definitely fun. So yeah, things like this where it's just like we'll be able to play with layering things, seeing what happens when different inks hit each other, and making something completely unique.
So there's some art and some science.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, we've established that there will be lots of presenters and lots to do at the Mini Maker Faire, but Connie Rutledge, event coordinator, what exactly is a Maker Faire?
Well, a Maker Faire is a celebration of creativity and ingenuity and people who make stuff. And it's unique because there are so many hands-on activities and interactive demonstrations and presentations. It's a great place to learn.
Lots of different people are makers. So what are some of the other categories that will be represented?
Well, we do have a lot of variety, and we have a lot of great metalworking exhibits this year. So Chicago Fire Arts Center will be there, and they will have a blacksmithing forge as well as metal stamping that people can try. We have Rockler, who's going to have some wood turning, and then we have some individual artisans like Cecilia Schiller, and she makes these beautiful hand-carved wooden sculptures that move.
So what do kids get out of experiencing this and trying this with their own hands?
Well, I think kids and adults of anyone really gets a lot out of just experiencing the techniques and learning a little bit more about how artisans and craftspeople work their magic. And it gets you interested and you start to learn in a different way when you can really get your hands dirty.
Well, somebody who's not getting her hands dirty is Gillian. No bitter buffalo around here. Be sure to check out Bitter Buffalo and some 200 other makers on Saturday at the fairgrounds from 10 to 6. Back to you.
And tickets are available Saturday at the fairgrounds and range in price from $10 to $20.